You're scrolling late at night. You watch kitchen cabinets swing wide open on their own, glass shatter on the floor, shadows peek out from behind impossibly thin trees, and sudden handprints slam against the glass of a foggy window. We live in an era of high-end CGI and accessible editing software. We are conscious of how easily these blurry, low-fidelity clips are staged for views. Despite that knowledge, these unverified clips still trigger a spike in our heart rate. Our rational skepticism fails to stop the physical response. This simplified wireframe of the human brain focuses on the amygdala, the region handling threat detection. These videos stress test this ancient evolutionary wiring, bypassing our higher-order reasoning. They exploit three primal triggers: the unseen, kinematic anomaly, and contextual violation. Digital horror works by targeting the brain's internal threat detection software, making explicit, high-detail monsters unnecessary. The first trigger is the threat of anticipation. Consider a quiet, snow-covered backyard. Suddenly, a series of heavy, widely spaced footprints begins to appear, one after another, as if an enormous, invisible mass is actively walking through the yard. Or the child standing on a sidewalk, asking her imaginary friend to push her toy stroller. Seconds later, the stroller rolls forward on its own, suggesting a physical force is present and listening. This creates a vacuum effect in our threat detection. When we witness an action without an identifiable actor, the brain immediately calculates the worst-case scenario to ensure survival. Because we are forced to account for an invisible, unquantifiable danger that can manipulate the physical world, the mind constructs a more terrifying threat than any camera could ever capture. This fear is the physical result of the brain overcompensating for a lack of clear visual data. The second trigger, kinematic anomaly, focuses on motion. We see this in the footage of a person wearing a headlamp, moving on all fours across a street with an erratic, animal-like gait. We see it again in the subtle shifting of a Peppa Pig toy's eyes. It is a tiny, unnatural movement in an object that should be stationary. This also applies to the environment. Three glowing orbs glide across the sky in a perfectly tight formation, then accelerate at speeds that defy our understanding of inertia. Human neurology is hardwired to recognize predictable rhythms. We have spent millennia learning to identify healthy movement patterns to gauge safety. Movement that is almost natural but slightly off historically signals disease or a mimicking predator. Our biology interprets this as a direct physical threat. Creepy movement terrifies us because it triggers a biological alarm that operates beneath the level of rational thought. The final trigger is contextual violation. A woman records loud, rhythmic chanting echoing across a dark, isolated river at night. Or a group of friends exploring a silent, concrete tunnel is suddenly charged by an unknown figure sprinting out of the darkness at full speed. The brain relies on expected context to navigate the world. Human voices indicate safety in a crowded city, but signal a potential threat in an isolated wilderness. Removing that expected environmental context turns mild curiosity into panic. The brain loses its ability to map the sensory input to a safe baseline. Our sense of security is tied to geography. A normal sound or figure in an abnormal location destabilizes our perception of safety. There are mundane explanations for these clips. Thermal condensation reveals old prints on windows. Slanted sidewalks move strollers. Sound carries over water. Modern editing and staging allow anyone to manufacture these visual triggers. Yet the physiological reality remains. Our nervous system releases the same adrenaline whether the threat is a genuine anomaly or a clever hoax. The sheer volume of viral horror content creates a massive feedback loop. Each video that gains traction identifies exactly which visual distortions generate the most visceral response from a global audience. These videos keep us awake at night. They succeed by exposing the inescapable, primal vulnerabilities hardwired into the human mind.